Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. Firstly, apologies, this is coming out a day later than I had hoped. Now it's been 2 days now since we played Luton, and ideally I wanted to get this out the next day. But unfortunately with work and stuff, I just didn't get around to recording yesterday. But yeah, let's talk about it. Jump straight in. Luton versus Arsenal. Ended Arsenal 4, Luton 3. And my God, did we have to work for that in the end. And look, massive result to get the 3 points, especially what happened with Villa and City last night. Quickly touch upon that. I did say that I thought that might be a banana skin for City. They ended up losing 1-0 and they got battered by Villa. Something I'll touch more upon in my Villa preview as we have them on Saturday. But yeah, they got battered and Villa well deserved it. So the Declan Rice's goal now could be massive to get us those 3 points. It looked like we was going to walk away with just a point, which would have been really disappointing result in my opinion. But look, as impressed as I was with Luton, I thought, done well, they pressed well. We should have been beating them, and it should have been a much more comfortable game, apart from our keeper deciding to basically throw 2 balls in his own net, which I will go into. But yeah, that winner for Rice, what was it, 10 seconds to go, Odegaard puts a ball in, Rice manages to get his head on it and put us 4-3 up. Could be massive. Now we're 6 points ahead of City after 15 games, sorry. Long way to go, of course, but, I'd rather be 6 points ahead of them than trying to catch them, with them being 6 points ahead of us. So, big win, but I wasn't majorly happy with the performance. Even after the final whistle the next day, I was still fuming. But when I've calmed down, I thought about it. It's not really the performance of the team I was too angry with, because we didn't really give them anything. Okay, yeah, they scored their first goal from a corner, which, can happen. Of course, it's poor marking, and, you're always disappointed to concede from a corner, especially when we've been so good on set pieces. But, Jesus gets a loose touch in the middle of the park. They managed to win the corner, put the ball in, and it's a good header. I don't blame Raya for that. He can't save it. Those things can happen. But that should have been all they had, and we didn't really give them much more. Until the second half comes, when we're 2-1 up, thanks to goals from Martinelli and Jesus in the first half. Second half comes, and David Raya decides, I don't know if he'd done it, if he just wanted to play bad just to make the game interesting, but he basically threw 2 balls into his own net, in my opinion. So the second one comes from a corner, which again is so frustrating, because we shouldn't be conceding 2 goals in a game from corners. A couple of seasons ago, we didn't concede a corner up until like April, I think, in the league. And now we're conceding them, seems a little bit more often. But this one, I just have to lay solely down to David Raya's door. The ball's come in. It's not a particularly great cross. It's coming to like the middle of his goal. Instead of coming and just punching it out, he's coming and trying to catch it. Doesn't catch it. And the striker just gets in front of him and heads it into an open net. So poor. But for their third goal is even worse. And look, I need to mention Ben White in this, because he's not getting away with it either. Ben White, for me, great player. I love Ben White. I think he's brilliant. But sometimes, one-on-one, he gets done too easy for me. Especially when it gets in the box. You look at Rashford's goal this season. His only goal from open play this season. Gets it down the left. White lets him cut in way too easy. He bangs it in. And in this case, he's standing way too far off Ross Barkley, who had a good game, by the way. I have to give a shout out to Ross Barkley. He played well. Gives it like a normal step over, gets it onto his left foot. White's way too far away from him, so he's never going to block it. And then he hits it, and then this is when I get into Raya, because as bad as that was from White, I get it might be a bit of fatigue. He's been out of the team recently. Not excusing him. I'm not even trying to make excuses for him, but I'm just saying. But Raya, I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to fall on it and save it with his body instead of just saving it with his feet like any normal keeper would. And then that puts us under pressure, and he's so lucky that the boys bailed him out. The same way, I'm going to say the same thing, Ramsdale was lucky against Brentford, that Rice bailed him out when he made that a mistake. But the thing is with Ramsdale, and I'm going to sound really biased here towards Ramsdale, I kind of get why Ramsdale's nervous, He got in team of the season last year for being one of the best keepers in the league, got us to a title challenge, and he's been dropped. Okay, now he knows it when he comes in against Brentford, he's got to be perfect, and he's got, you automatically start overthinking things. You know, and he made a mistake. Luckily, he ended up getting away with it. But David Raya, for me, shouldn't be nervous. And people say, oh, yeah, he's under pressure, Ramsdale's behind him, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. You've come into a team that challenged for the league last season. The manager's bought you because he believes you can make the difference. He's given you the gloves. He's dropped the geezer who, like I said, was in team of the season last year, had a great season last year. What do you have to be nervous about? I'm sorry. What? Because some of the fans might think Ramsdale's better. Why does that affect you? All you should care about is the manager picking you, and he does week in, week out, and he's going to keep picking him. I'm not buying the Raya should be nervous thing. If look, maybe it's the pressure of just being at Arsenal that's too much for him. Fair enough, that's a different thing. And if you're not big enough, leave. Go back to Brentford. But to say, oh, he's under pressure, and Arteta has caused this, don't get me wrong. He has caused this whole debate that we shouldn't even be talking about it. But the fact of the matter is, he's brought in a keeper who he believed was better than Ramsdale. Fair enough, no problem with that. But at this moment in time, he's proving you wrong, Arteta. Simple as. Right now, if you was to ask me who's the better keeper, I'm saying Ramsdale easily. And if you're going to bring a keeper in to replace a keeper who was good before, surely to God it shouldn't be this much of a debate. Like when you brought in Ramsdale to replace Leno. At first, everyone thought what's going on, but Ramsdale showed us in the first few games, okay, yeah, cool, makes sense. Raya's had 15 games now, and I'm still questioning him. I'm still questioning the signing. Shouldn't be happening, but I'm going to stop because I could go on about this for fucking hours, so I'm not gonna. Let's go to positives. I thought Jesus was very good, probably my man of the match. Apart from in the first half where I think the first corner comes from him losing the ball sloppily in midfield. And then they obviously have the corner and score. But other than that, I thought he's brilliant. Really good for the first goal, the way he pressed the keeper. I mean, the keeper shit himself. I don't know why he panicked so much. Put it out for a throw, then he sprints over to get the throw in quick. Obviously, he throws it to Saka. Martinelli ends up getting a tap in. Well, kind of. It was a good finish. Scores the second. Big credit to Kai Havertz there, making that run to the near post, taking the two defenders away. Ben White crosses it. Jesus comes in unmarked and heads it in. Good goal. Then he assists Kai Havertz for the third one. And he's just a great player, Jesus. When he's on it, it's no coincidence that when he's playing, we look much better. And he makes everyone around him better. Saka and Martinelli seem to play better with him. And I think that's because, you know, sometimes teams don't always like double and triple up on them because they know they need to keep an eye on Jesus. But even if they do, he comes into pockets where they can find him and play off him. And it just makes their life so much easier. And I also think it's no coincidence that we're now seeing the best, and I still think the reason why we signed Kai Havertz now that Jesus is playing. So I just want to move on to Kai Havertz. I thought he had a brilliant game, probably his best game in an Arsenal shirt. I know people say, yeah, where's Luton? You know, they're like a championship side, blah, blah, blah. But if I'm going to credit Jesus, Saka and some others for playing well, you can't not credit Kai Havertz for playing well just because who he's playing against. I thought overall it was his best performance. He was physically strong. He was, you know, getting on the ball, passing it. He always tries to play the ball, you know, early. But sometimes he plays it early, but he still passes it really slow. It's kind of weird. But he was getting on it. He was driving through. And we're starting to see the runs he's making that can not only get him in positions to score, but can cause other people to get goals. Even if you look at the first goal, Saka, like I said, Jesus gets the throw, throws it to Saka. Saka runs in the box. Kai Havertz makes that run to the near stick, takes about two defenders with him. Then Martinelli can ghost in behind him and finish. Same with Jesus on the second goal, makes the run to the front stick. Jesus comes in unmarked. And he can work the other way around. When Jesus was getting marked by 2 or 3 people on our third goal, Kai Havertz just ghosts off the back of them. Jesus finds him and he taps it in. He scored 2 pretty much identical goals against Lons and Luton, both from Jesus battling with the defenders. And he anticipates the flick on, makes the right run, and he gets tap-ins. Long may it continue, because I think this is why we signed Havertz, you know, almost to play like a second striker with Jesus, to give Jesus space when he needs it, and for Jesus to be able to give him space to occupy and give us more of a goal threat and make us more unpredictable. So, you know, he's starting to look good now, and please, Kai, just keep it up. Saka again played well, trying to make things happen. Got himself an assist, got his usual goal contribution as he seems to do every week now. I thought Odegaard played well. I've seen a lot of people saying he didn't do great, but I think he was trying to make things happen. Putting a lovely ball for Declan Rice to score the winner. we like I said with 10 seconds ago, Declan Rice again was a standard, just a standard Declan Rice performance. It was brilliant. Getting on the ball, I thought some of his passing was lovely. He played one ball in the first half on his left foot over to Saka, and it was a lovely ball. So there were positives. I'm not like, I was really angry yesterday after the game, really angry. But when I thought about it, the performance overall wasn't bad. You know, we scored 4 good goals. Okay, the last one was a bit, you know, last gasp, everyone pushing forward, so maybe don't happen if you're already 3-1 up. But that was probably a 3-4-1 game. But it got made to look a lot tighter than it was because of our goalkeeper. And, you know, I'll probably do a video soon if I can on Raya and Ramsdale and why I think that that's a problem. And, yeah, it's worrying for me. It really is worrying. But I'm going to quickly go into the player ratings. Raya, I'm going to give him a 3. Some of his passing was all right, but his goalkeeping, I think, was poor. And at the end of the day, that is what he's there to do. Yes, we know we need him to be good on the ball. That's fine. But if you're throwing balls in your own net, essentially, I don't care if you can pick Havertz out from 60 yards. I need you to keep the ball out of the net first and foremost. So I'm going to give him a 3. Ben White, I thought Ben White had a good game overall, apart from that moment I discussed earlier where I think he was really poor. But he ended up getting an assist for Jesus, so I'm gonna have to give him a 5, I think, because that defending was just so amateurish, in my opinion, and he's got to do better there. I think he does it too often. Saliba and Gabriel, I don't think they had necessarily bad games. They didn't have great games, but I don't think they had bad games. And for them to have conceded 3 at home to Luton, away to Luton, I think they're going to be absolutely fuming about that's gone against them. But they didn't pull up trees either, so I'm going to give them. I'll give them 2 both a 7 because I think they were both pretty much the same. Kivior, another man I need to talk about one day. I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal. I would sell him in the summer. I'd keep him now, obviously, because we're really low on defenders. But I don't think he's personally good enough. I'll give him a 5. I don't think he was any good. Declan Rice, I'll give an 8. Bailed us out, got us 3 massive points, and I thought he was good overall. Odegaard, I'll give a 7. I think he was coming deep, getting on the ball, trying to make things happen. Ended up putting a perfect crossing in the end. Kai Havertz, I'll give an 8. Close to my man of the match, but not quite it. Saka and Martinelli, I'll give Saka an 8 because of his assist. And I think overall he was a bit more dangerous, trying to make things happen. Give Martinelli a 7. Good to see him on the score sheet again. How mad is it that we're top of the league, by the way? 6 points clear of City with Martinelli and Jesus only scoring 2 goals each. I don't know if I've mentioned that earlier in the video. I don't think I have. But that's crazy, considering, you know, Martinelli scored 15 goals in the league last year. Jesus was obviously injured quite a lot, but he was contributing a lot. So touch wood, them 2 stay fit and start racking up the numbers. And on to Jesus, my man of the match, I'll give him a 9. You know, contributed massively to 3 of our goals. He's just he must be an absolute nightmare for defenders to play against. Like, okay, he doesn't score the most goals. He won't score probably 20, 25 goals in a season, but he's a nightmare. He's such a good player. Technically, he's an amazing player. And how many strikers can do what Jesus does? I'll say none. I'll say he's the best at what he does. He's the best pressing forward in Europe. And his touch and his link up and everything. I don't think there's many better than him that I can think of, if any, in that sort of style of how he plays. But yeah, so big win. On to Villa on Saturday. I'll be doing my preview tomorrow. Massive game that, but we'll go into it more then. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think about the game, if I'm being harsh on Raya. And yeah, just who you thought was man of the match, etc. Please do like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.